Lionsgate has set up a page very similar to the page that they created for the Hunger Games cast. So it looks like, each time that we get an official casting announcement, that person will sort of fill in their blank silhouette on that page. So they've got all of the victors grouped by district. They've got Snow and Prim and Gale and who else? Lena. Yeah, the character's name is Lena. Okay. Cinna, not Lenny Kravitz. Cinna, Effie, and Caesar, and Claudia Simplesmith. All of the returning cast members are there. And then at the top, you've got a big banner announcing that Philip Seymour Hoffman has been cast. Now, there are two silhouettes with no names next to them. One of them is a man, and people were asking about that on Twitter and on Facebook earlier, but we're all sort of assuming that the man below Snow is that should be Plutarch's spot. And after Philip Seymour Hoffman's little featured banner goes away, he'll move down into that slot below Snow. That seems logical. So we're not going to talk about Mystery Man. We're going to talk about Mystery Woman. At the very bottom of the Catching Fire casting page, there is a pretty big box with a woman's silhouette in it and no name. And it's really weird because we can't think of who might go in there because the box is bigger than Katniss's box. So it has to be someone who's a pretty prominent player in Catching Fire, we would guess. So here are some theories that we got on Twitter and Facebook. I've seen people suggest Annie Cresta, Maysalee Donner, Coin, Madge, Deli Cartwright, and like Bonnie and Twill, who have now been combined into one character named Bill or Tawny. So those are the most popular theories that I have personally seen. So let's quickly speculate here. And on Twitter, you guys have been awesome tonight, and in the chat room, let us know who you think that mystery woman is. Adam, what is if you had to pick one of these, I feel like it must be one of these people. Who do you think is the most likely candidate? Of course, there's also the possibility that it's a new character that doesn't exist in the books that's been made up for the film. But what do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think it is a made-up character. I think it's someone named Trexla Hoverhounda.
Oh, my God.
No, actually, I'm going to give the nod to Annie Cresta. That's going to be my
Okay, we've got one, not a vote, but we have one guess for Annie Cresta. Rebekah, who do you think it is?
I'm actually in the same boat as Adam. I think it's Annie, because I'm looking at this list, and everyone who's listed is involved in the game. So,
right.
And Annie is involved in the game. So, I'm going with Annie.
Natalie, have you speculated at all about this?
I haven't, and I wish I could think of another person just to sort of keep things interesting, but that sounds about right. I feel like that could be her.
Okay, so far we have 3 Annie guesses. Theresa, I think you said it was probably Annie, right?
That was my gut feeling.
So far, no one thinks that it's Madge. A lot of people out there are wondering if it might be Madge, and that's why it's like such a secret. I don't think it's going to be Madge, but Mary, who do you think Mystery Woman is?
Well, I was talking earlier about it, and I thought maybe it might have been Coin, but after you guys were talking about it, I thought, well, maybe it might be Annie. So I'm kind of twisted, but I would probably say more likely it's Annie.
Yeah, I'm kind of twisted too. I think it's probably Annie, but I was thinking earlier that it might be Coin because I could picture like them doing a just incredibly awesome and chilling end to the film, like either right before the credits roll or as an extra like bonus thing after the credits, but just showing like a brief shot of Coin down in a bunker in District 13. That would be so awesome. But
why would they announce who they're casting in that role if they're supposed to be such a big surprise.
And that's what we talked about that earlier. Like, they wouldn't, if they want to do a big surprise reveal like that, they wouldn't put Coin on that page. So.
They won't put Coin on, then it'll be Annie. But, I thought the same thing.
I'm thinking it's Annie. And someone mentioned, I don't know who it was, but someone mentioned that maybe it was someone on Twitter, I have no idea. But because Annie plays a role in the games, like Finnick hears her voice and whatnot, we would kind of have to know who she is, or at least, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, I would think that it would be Annie. That's just my best guess.
So it sounds like most of us think that it's Annie. I'm looking on Twitter at some of our listeners' suggestions. I see a lot of people think it's Annie. Some people think it should be Coin. Most people seem to think it's Annie. I've seen a few suggestions for Hazel or Hazel Hawthorne. I don't know how you pronounce her first name. Let's say Hazel. For the sake of this conversation, I've seen a lot of people suggest Hazel Hawthorne, but I don't think they would give Gail's mom a box that big. You know, like her role is that substantial. I don't know.
Savanna, one other thing is they don't have Mrs. Everdeen on there.
Yeah.
She's she's still returning, but she's not a major, player, so I can't see them. That's one of those things where I think if they were going to, if they are going to introduce her, then it'll be, something small, like when they announced her being cast, So I think it would be something similar along that. I don't think she'd have. I really agree with the thoughts that everybody that's on here is involved in. I mean, aside from Gail, but he's still important in this, Gail and Prim. But everybody being involved in the games, I think that's really a good theory about that. And plus, she is going to be so important in Mockingjay as a character that to introduce her now would and say, this is the person that's going to take this character along the way is a really good idea. So, in a way, as prominent as she's going to be in Mockingjay as far as a character, I think she deserves a bigger box.
And you have to think or wonder, why would they make such an effort to be secretive about this particular character? And I think they know that Annie is someone who the fans will be really excited about because, the Finnick-Annie relationship is, for me anyway, like one of the most special things like in this series. And I think they know like what a big surprise it would be for all of us to get an Annie. So I'm leaning towards Annie.
It's so special, honestly. They should do like a video miniseries about it, I think.
I know, like about them growing up
their
together.
Childhood, what it was like for them when they were kids. It'd be great.